Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 2 Resurrected video. Today I want to show you one of the best farming spots in Diablo 2 Resurrected and explain why that is the case. So stay tuned because we're gonna go into the detail and we're gonna show you why Travincal is one of the best farming spots in D2. First up, I'm gonna do a quick run just to show you how it works. You have like a very low distance, so this is like the first positive point about it. Oh, I don't have the right hotkeys. You don't need Enigma, you don't need teleport. It's actually very quick to reach. You can even in your second weapon slot use a teleport staff, which gives you a little bit a faster time, a few seconds. But you can do these runs in less than 1 minute, and I've done this various times on live streams. It depends a bit on the character and your build, of course. So you should preferentially use a character and a build that is fast. And I have various videos about this. I will put them in the description, so check them out. These are different builds with different characters, like Amazon, like Assassin, like Paladin, that can do Travincal runs in under 1 minute with a huge amount of magic find as well. So that's the basis, and you saw and probably already know about Travincal, but why is it good? Why is actually explained on, I will show you two different websites that explain it better than I could, but we're gonna go through them. So first up, this is, and then again, the links will be in the description below. This is on Maxroll, pretty popular site, and they have a Travincal farming guide. Talking a little bit what Travincal is, and it's extremely rewarding for runes, unique, and set items. Not gonna go through all this. You can see here the map, the way from the waypoint to the Travincal console is very, very short, as I already shown you and mentioned. And then I also say like why farm Travincal. Important is it can drop up to Cham rune, so you cannot find a Zod rune there unless it's terrorized. So if it's terrorized, it's even better than non-terrorized. And there's like some notable items that can drop here, like a Shooters, the Oculus, Viper Magi, Tarashas, Andariel, Dracules, Chief Face, High Lords, Verdango, Shaco, Horse, Maras, SOJ, War Travelers, and many more. Like something like Reaper's Toll also drops there. I personally found, some of these here myself already. And then they say here how to find the Travincal. I just showed you. Then the immunities of the different monsters. So that's where the builds come in. There are a lot of immunities here. Fire immune, lightning immune is a common. Fire immunity is a common. Then cold immune is also this guy is always cold immune. So if you're a Blizzard source, you only can kill 10 of the 11 members of the council, which is unfortunate unless you have like a Thunder Charm. And then they cast like these Fire Hydras, which are very, very deadly, especially to your mercenary. So if you rely on your mercenary to do like the support or to the damage, you need a very, very sturdy mercenary. And I can show you my mercenary. I didn't really revive him, I just forgot. But for example, if you're going with an Act 2 mercenary, what you want to do is give him something like Temper that gives you Fire Absorb, Fire Resist. If you cannot make this rune because you're not playing Ladder, you can use Kira's Guardian. Let me go to my stash. I have it right here. Kira's Guardian. This is a bad low all-res roll because what happens is sometimes the super unique mob there spawns with a Conviction Aura, and then it lowers the resistance of your mercenary too low. But if you have a lot of all-res, like with Kira's, I think it can go up to 70 or 75. And you can counteract that and have more than max. So if I go like this and have... I don't have it here, but there's Templar's Might as well. And Templar's Might is a body armor that gives you max resist, so you can go up to 90 here through the bank. Right now I'm using Durid Shell, which is also nice because it comes with cannot be frozen. And then something like Reaper's Toll for a lot of lifestone per hit to also make sure the mercenary survives. But for the most part, if you're using the right build, you don't need the mercenary to kill anything or to help you out. Going back to that guide here on Maxroll, you can see they also give you some tips. Increasing the player count is only really beneficial to P3. P5, P7, the jump in drop rate is not as high as the difficulty increases. If you don't have any trouble killing the monsters on P5, P7 the same way as on P3, then go for it if you can. If not, I would advise to stay on P3. Of course, you can kite the council. You should bring fire resistance, as already mentioned. And you don't really have to kill them all. That's also a good point, because sometimes, for example, for me, with the Blade Fury Assassin, one of these can spawn as physical immune, which is a pain in the ass. And I use the Bone Break Charm to break the physical immunity. I use Reaper's Toll if I bring my mercenary to break it. But if I don't have either one, then I just skip it, make a new game. It's faster that way than just, whittling down some immunity. They also speak about build recommendations, and again, these are some recommendations, and you need sometimes a lot of equipment for it, or even infinity. So I don't really recommend all of these if you are on a budget, and there are builds that can kill the council on a budget. It's a bit harder because you have to be more careful. But again, check out the description below for video guides on these builds. They are on the channel, and they're very, very helpful. And the other side I want to show you is here D2 Rune Wizard. This is pretty great because it talks more about the actual drop rates in terms of percentages. So if we go here, I can make this a bit bigger. And I also speak about the Travincal area, fighting the High Council, all the good stuff, then builds that can kill them effectively, and Council drop mechanics. So this is the nice one. This is the interesting one. To get a chance on the high rune, you have to roll Act for Good. So if an item drops, it rolls the treasure class. And to roll Act for Good, this is like the name of the treasure class. Don't get confused by Act 4, because we are in Act 3. The chance to land on this is 5.45% on P1, and 7.5 on P3, and 8.11 on P5, and 8.33 on P7. So as I mentioned, you can see the jump from P1 to P3 is actually very significant. But then to P5, yeah, it's a little bit like 0.61%. And then to P7, it's only like 0.22%. It's not that huge for the spike in difficulty, so keep that in mind. And then you can actually see, like, if you're on P1, P3, whatever, and can look into these treasure classes, Act for Good, that can drop jewelry, gems, and runes. And for the runes, you can press here. So technically, if you're on P1, you have 5.45% for the treasure class. Then you have a 10.77% chance for the runes to drop in general. And then it will pick like a rune from that. Cham rune from that is 0.05%, which seems pretty low. But you have to keep in mind, this is per council member, and there are 11 council members. So you have to have 11 times this chance every run. And then, which is pretty neat, they have like this calculator right here. You can also put in Find Item if you are running a Barbarian, and it's significantly better to run Find Item. I also just found that out. I didn't know it was that significant, but if we do like 1,000 runs in Hell, you can see like on average you will find one Cham, one Mel, one Pull. It's not too great, right? We clear this and add Find Item with like 60% chance, which is reasonable. And then in 1,000 runs, you find an a low, and a jar rune on average. That's huge. And for me, it was a little bit of a revelation. I know that Find Item is great, but I didn't know it's that great. So yeah, I probably want to make a Barbarian now. A Barbarian that's capable of clearing the Travincal, like a Berserk Barbarian or a Whirlwind Barbarian. The only downside is, and I tried this a lot with a Warcry Barbarian, because that can potentially clear it in the budget, but it's pretty hard and not very consistent, also takes some time. So it kind of depends. For example, Find Item is great, it gives you a chance for more drops, but if you're faster with your current build, for example, with a Blade Fury Assassin or a Hamadin, and you're 2 times faster than with the Barbarian, then it's still better. Like, for example, I mean, we can look. I mean, if you can do 2,000 runs without item find, then this is like your output on average. And if you can do them with, let's say, 50% item find, 1,000 runs, then this is your output. It's fairly similar. So depending on how fast, if it's a Barbarian that's very fast and you're just plowing through, then it's always better to run the Barbarian. And yeah, lastly, it's not only runes, it's also like drops. And I want to show you this picture. This was like with less than 100% magic find, and you can see it can be actually very awesome not to have a lot of drops that are uniques or set or runes. No? You can also add some, could also be some runes here. It's not like the, of course, these are not like the best of the best uniques, but it's kind of nice to see what can happen. And if you're lucky, you can get like very, very nice drops right here. Yeah, that's about it. That's what I wanted to show you about the Travincal, because I'm farming this a lot and I never really did a video and explained why I did it. And yeah, these are the reasons. No? And again, check out my other videos about like different builds that can clear Travincal if you're interested in farming this very, very, very good spot in Diablo 2. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Good luck, have fun, and goodbye.